crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroo.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Oh, lots going on. Talked the other day about the Commitment of Traders report, how the riggers try to pretend that they're still on sides when they're off sides. Again, here's where they stand. As you can see here down at the bottom, the commercials are way down right here, negative, almost down short 100 million ounces. Now, as you look over the past, how many years is this? 2 years. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This is the bankster criminal short position. It's been always like this, always way down there, but as of a couple months ago, it flopped. They even went long a little bit. Again, though, on the non-commercial side, this is like BlackRock and Citadel, and they play off each other. They collude and rig, hey, I'll take a $100 million hit on silver if you give me back $100 million on copper futures, or you give me back $100 million on some exotic derivative. And it's all run through a company it used to be called EWT LLC. Now it's called Virtu Financial. Vinny Viola running that company. Trump tried to put him as the head of the Navy, but he actually got expelled from West Point back when they caught people cheating at West Point back, I think it was the late 70s. Very interesting stuff. Take a look go to roadtoroad.com and look up Virtu Financial or EWT LLC. EWT LLC is a play off Elliott Wave Theory, EWT. It was a way that the riggers would absolutely destroy the technical traders. Technical traders are, if this, I got descending wedge and all that bullshit. In a rigged market, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. So here's where we are. But look at open interest. Open interest is practically falling to nothing. This is the end game. Great discussion yesterday. Chris Marcus at Arcadia Economics interviewed an actual trader, a gold and silver trader, who trades on the COMEX. And he was talking about how this time it is different. The removal of silver from the warehouses is it's not a shell game going on right now. Somebody, he believes, he named two entities, and it just cracked me up because that's what Road to Root has been saying a long time. But somebody is pulling silver out at a constant, steady pace. If you're going to just try to spoof the market, you make huge inventories disappear and reappear, and all it is crazy reporting that goes on. Nothing actually has to be there. But this is a long, steady decline in the amount of silver available in the COMEX inventories and in the LBMA, and even at the ETF. Here's what's going on with the ETFs. They use the ETFs as cover for the short position. Well, that was exposed 2 years ago when Jeffrey Christian came out and the other guy from Goldman, Jeff. And we talked about that. They said, oh, yeah, no, the huge short position is the ETFs shorting their position. Hey, wait a minute. The ETFs are not allowed to short the position because they are not the owners of the silver. No, you cannot short the 319 million ounces of SLV, claiming that's a legitimate short, because the owners of SLV, which are the shareholders of SLV, it is completely going against their investment thesis. That the fiduciary of SLV is BlackRock. So if BlackRock is saying, hey, get exposure to silver through this ETF, we will deposit 1 ounce of silver for every share that you guys buy. You don't do that for them to short it to screw with your investment. Completely illegal, by the way. And Jeff Curry is the guy from Goldman Sachs, and Jeff Christian both said the same thing during the silver squeeze. And obviously they were the ones being squeezed. So it is a con game. It is ongoing. absolutely ongoing, and there's the picture of it. But what I'm interested in, and I've been saying this for a week, is that are they playing the commitment of traders game? The commitment of traders game, commitment of traders is a report it comes out every Friday from the CFTC. It's a report on who's got what. It breaks it out by, doesn't say the names of them, but breaks it out by commercials and non-commercials. And there's some more breakout. But the old game used to be if you rig the market up until Tuesday, which is the cutoff for the reporting, then the next week won't show up for another week. You can do anything you want. So last week when the price of silver was jumping up all the way up until Tuesday, and then Wednesday it started to fall, this is an old game that they abandoned a while ago, but there's new CFTC commissioners. The Rustin Benham's harem, the four women who are, two of them are from the cabal, at least two. Rustin Benham does the bidding, but the two, one's from JP Morgan and one's from Citi. These are the regulators, believe it or not. So I just wanted to see, are they playing the same game? So this would be, if they are playing the same game and it's week to week, then we should see at the end of today, which is Tuesday, when trading stops, I think it's 10 in the morning on the West Coast. Not sure. Sometime today, by tomorrow, the price of silver should jump. So I think today will be the low. If they're playing this ridiculous childlike game, just painting the tape to hide it from the commissioners, because that's all the commissioners are supposed to be looking at. Truthfully, none of these commissioners have any experience in looking at market rigging, so they got the perfect commissioners in there. They wouldn't even know what to look for. A bunch of bullshit. Anyway, on a bigger note, Credit Suisse is going down again. Goldman suggests $8 billion in capital shortfall. Try $80 billion, maybe even $800 billion if you count all the derivatives. That's why Blythe Masters is now appointed this year the chairman of the board of Credit Suisse. Yes, Blythe Masters, the same crazy derivative witch that caused the meltdown of the CDS market, which was a big contributor to the 2008 meltdown, and was the one who ran the gold silver rigging operations for JP Morgan when the four highest traders there got busted for it. She walked free, along with Jamie Dimon, but he walks free for a bunch of other crimes. Blythe Masters is now the head of Credit Suisse, and clearly because of the derivative problem they have. They're talking about another spinoff, a good bank, bad bank. Wouldn't you like to do that with your life? Say, I'm going to spin off Bix Weir. This is the bad Bix Weir over here. I'll give him all the debt and all the crazy bets he made, and the good Bix Weir has these little pristine assets over here. Good bank, bad bank. It's just the stupidest thing ever. But with systemic banks, it's something they have to do to keep the ball going. But it's not just Credit Suisse. Everybody is crashing right now in the derivative market. And when you have a big player who's a big counterparty to tens of trillions of dollars in derivatives, which Credit Suisse is, you cannot let it fail. So Blythe Masters was put at the head to try to keep it alive. Very interesting stuff, if you ask me. Here's another thing I want to talk about. Coinbase. Coinbase jumps after Google Cloud picks exchange for crypto payments. Coinbase shares are surging in the pre-market after Google reports that has selected the exchange to take cloud payments with cryptocurrencies and will use its custody tool. That everything at Coinbase is subject to the Reggie Middleton patent. Reggie Middleton has sued Coinbase right here. Blockchain company sues Coinbase for patent infringement. Coinbase, the largest crypto exchange in the U.S., is being sued for $350 million in damages by a blockchain company for allegedly using its crypto transfer technology for its blockchain infrastructure. That's just in the past. This is not even counting what Coinbase will owe them going forward. And all kinds of things that Coinbase broke the patent for Reggie, and Reggie's going after him. Good on you, Reggie. Good discussion here on the VeriDAO about Veritasium's, the supply, the 800 or 98 million tokens versus the 2 million tokens. 98 million have been frozen by the government. They sit there in limbo. Reggie makes a good point that, hey, there's nothing he can do to him. Those tokens are dead right now because he he's not going to give, if somebody sells those tokens, he'll know because he knows the wallets they're in. But if somebody is going to, it's not the tokens that has the real power. It's the patent that Reggie put behind the tokens when he had those tokens. And they ask him, "Hey Reggie, how do we go forward?" And he talks about a discount for the current tokens that are out there. There's 2 million tokens out there. A discount when using the technology for those tokens. But Reggie needs to, I think, see, the problem with the suit for Reggie is that those are the only tokens he can ever have. What he agreed to was freezing those tokens, and he will never make another token. I don't know if that's a problem for Reggie. He can license out his technology with his patent. This patent is so big. It is so big and covers so much. Reggie can, he can't, the SEC can't reverse this ruling. A judge can, though. A judge can give back Reggie his tokens because it was a legal settlement. But the judge can give back his tokens. The judge can't give back the Ethereum and Bitcoin that he got because those have all been sold off. I don't know if they've been sold off, but they're in the process of being sold off for anybody who filed a claim against Reggie on the ICO. So they stole most of his money. But then they froze these tokens. Nobody knows why. I think I know why. In Cliff High's data, it has Veritasium going up and the U.S. government coming to Veritasium saying, help us. As these exchanges crash and fall apart and get destroyed, we need a new system. And Reggie had invented the system. That's why they took him down. So I do think they will give him back his 98 million tokens, which I think that's the best thing for the people who currently have Veritasium tokens, because it'll put Reggie back in the game. He will have possession of his assets, and the 2 million will be very important. If you own cryptocurrency, this is my suggestion, just a road to Ruta suggestion. If you own cryptocurrency and you're afraid of anything, not of anything, but of Reggie and the patent, why not take out insurance on it? And that is, insurance is taking, just like gold, for a long time, gold was seen as the insurance for your investment portfolio. Even investment managers said, oh, you should have 2%. 2% of your investment should be in gold in case the world falls apart. I think that is a wise move for any crypto holder. You should have 2% Veritasium. Because the U.S. government can use this very well. And that's why they granted him the patent. There will be no CBDC without the approval of Reggie Middleton. CBDC violates the patent. So do like 99% of the cryptos that are out there right now, such as Ethereum and even Veritasium. I mean, even Theta. I think everybody's going to be coming to Reggie and saying, okay, how do we work with you? And I think that'll be very good for the tokens when Reggie is back in business. I would say this is after the crash and after the central banks find out, oh my God, we can't even make a CBDC because of this patent that Reggie Middleton has on the type. CBDC would be based off other currencies. It's one of the examples actually Reggie uses in the patent. So the patent was granted. Now, can that be reversed? It can. It can be reversed. It would be breaking patent law most likely. And if you don't have patent law with one thing, how can you have any patent law? But we know the bad guys can do whatever they want. But my advice, again, if you're going to be in cryptocurrencies, you better have some gold-like insurance, which is Veritasium. 2% is my recommendation. Now, if you take 2% of the current market cap of cryptos, which is $920 billion, 2% would be $18.4 billion. So fully diluted of the 100 million Veritasium tokens, that means Veritasium should be trading at $184 right now. This is just a theoretical 2%. Right now it's at $44. That's fully diluted, meaning the whole 100 million. If you just take the 2 million are out there, those tokens, the current tokens, should be trading about $9,200 each. I'm just saying, I think a lot more than 2% will be buying Veritasium in the future. I think they will have to buy it if they want to run their... and the token is a way to legally use Reggie's platform when he's giving back his tokens. It's a little complicated. It's not brutally complicated because you got to look at the pros and cons. I mean, if you get 2% Veritasium, it would be hard to get without the price moving a lot. I mean, look at the price right now is at $44. Volume is $29,000. I mean, if you're a big Veritasium holder, Michael Saylor, for example, he should definitely have 2% in Veritasium. If you're a big crypto holder, if you're a big Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin flat, I think he has mostly just Bitcoin. Bitcoin does not violate the patent. Bitcoin does not. It's a true blockchain, nor does Litecoin. But when you add things onto it, that's when it gets complicated. When you attach assets to it, especially like Lightning Network assets, that's what Reggie invented. So, yeah. You see how complicated it is? So if you do have some crypto, I highly suggest 2% of that should be in Veritasium. That's my take anyway. Again, it gets complicated, but we live in a complicated time. Nobody knows what the future will bring. If you don't want to deal with any of this, go buy silver. Silver will be money of the future. That is guaranteed. Guaranteed. That gold as well, but gold will be worth so much less than silver. The more I think about, all the reasons that everybody talks about, the Green New Deal and the industrial side of silver and the monetary history of silver, and it's cheaper than gold, all these things that add up to buy as much silver as possible, doesn't even take account the true understanding of how much gold there is in the world. There's massive amounts of gold in the world, massive. Read Gold Warriors by Sterling and Peggy Seagrave, and it'll give you a hint of how much secret gold there is, at least on that side. And then there's gold at Chocolate Mountain. In the 1990s, they found massive amounts of gold in Chocolate Mountain in Southern California, and Dianne Feinstein locked it up. And they flew all these senators out to see it, and they came in on helicopters from the airport, and all these people said, "Oh my God, look at all this gold, we're rich." And then they did like they always do. They lock it up in a wildlife preserve. Dianne Feinstein has locked up 41% of California's land. Wildlife preserves, the desert spotted toad refuse, and then there's the military base at Chocolate Mountain. So all of this is part of the entire overall goal of the United States. Use everybody else's stuff first. All your natural resources keep in the ground. There's massive amounts of oil off of Gull Island up in Alaska that they will not tap until we need it. We have so much oil, it's ridiculous. Trump kind of showed that when all of a sudden Trump gets in and we're an oil exporter. We have more oil than we ever need, and then Biden gets in and all that's shut off. But that's part of the game. It's part of the fiat monetary system, the control mechanism that's been in place since 1913. We had to go onto a fiat money standard to control the system because in 1913, they found billions and billions and billions of ounces of gold in the Grand Canyon. Lots of stuff to think about, but I think gold probably will go the inverse of what it is right now. So right now it's 86 to 1. You can buy an ounce of gold with 86 ounces of silver. I think it's going to be the opposite way around. 86 ounces of gold will buy you 1 ounce of silver, and it's not going to be at $19. I do think gold will go up in fiat money terms, but that's the thing. When the derivative bubble blows, there won't be fiat money. That's the end game, is the derivative bubble. It was set up to be the end game, and when you hear stuff like Credit Suisse, short billions and billions of capital, that's just capital, not counting their derivative book. Holy shit, this could be it. But there's a lot of other banks that are going down as well. All it takes is one too big to fail bank, which is a counterparty to trillions of dollars in derivatives, to go down for everybody to go down. So if that makes sense, yes, I think if you don't want to deal with the cryptos right now, you will in the future. I suggest get your feet wet, get a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Litecoin, get a lot of Theta, and Theta Fuel, and then get some Veritasium just as insurance for your crypto bet. But definitely, I mean, the no-brainer of a lifetime is load up on silver. So back to, I'm jumping around, but back to the Chris Marcus discussion with the trader. He said there's only really, if it's not a sovereign entity taking all the silver away, because it's been a long 2 years of this. It's awesome. He named the guy I think it is. He says it's either George Soros, who did something like that long ago with the when he broke the Bank of England, or it's another huge person who's kind of untouchable as well. And he said it was Warren Buffett. Whoa! If he is right, which I've been screaming that for 10 years, that Buffett will be the one to take him down for various reasons. I've done a lot of research into Buffett. Not to mention that he's the huge Bank of America investor since Bank of America started going huge into silver derivatives. I think all that silver is being drained to Buffett. And I think ultimately it's roundabout to get back into circulation. I think he's giving it directly to Ventris Gibson, the director of the U.S. Mint. And she already said they're massively expanding Silver Eagle production, except where are the Silver Eagles? I mean, let's take a look. Let's take a look right now. I haven't looked at it in a while. Let's see if they did the 850. They're doing every 850. They claim there's only 850,000 Silver Eagles demanded every month, which is total bullshit. We could see that by the premiums that are not going down, by the way. Check it out. See how much she did. I think last I looked, 833. Either they haven't updated it or they caught wind that I was onto their 850. Because look, 850, 850, 850. Remember, these are numbers that are supposed to meet demand. Don't tell me the number was exactly 850 million or 1,000 ounces in July and August and April. It's just a lie. And we know the production capacity. It's right in here. The largest year was 47 million ounces they made. And she claims to have greatly expanded the Silver Eagle production, except she's not selling them to the public. And this is why the premiums are so high, is because they're not selling it to the public. Now, legally, who's making all the money? It's the guys who have direct, I think there's 20 or 10 or 20 direct connection to the mint. Because the mint can't sell it for more than what they make it for. That's illegal. They have to sell it for the cost of the 1,000-ounce bars that they buy. They buy the 1,000-ounce bars, they bring it to the refiner, and then the cost of refining. Now, they have to buy silver at spot price. That's why they buy the 1,000-ounce bars. And then they take it over to refining and they make the coin, the blanchettes, and all that. But all that is not a factor. They are required by law to spend as much money as possible to make enough money to meet demand when it comes to the processing side. When it comes to the silver, they have to buy at COMEX or LBMA spot, which they are. And they take delivery in the 1,000-ounce bar. Then cost doesn't matter. Cost does not matter after that moment. And then they have to sell it for the price they paid for the silver, plus just their cost to produce the coin. There is no profit built into the Silver Eagle market. So who's making the profit? The guys right after. And you get it because the demand is still massively high. My recommendation, buy U.S. Mint silver that isn't marked up yet. Ooh. I'll talk about that on the road to Ruta. I'm going to talk about that with Jenny Moonstone later today. And speaking of Jenny Moonstone, yes, I will be talking to her today. We'll be posting on the private road. What's the best silver to get? It's all going to be about silver today. We're going to crank out some spiritual silver. We're going to talk about a lot of the people behind the scenes and when is the day that silver, actually, I would say the day silver market shuts down, when the COMEX shuts down, is the day we're waiting for. If the COMEX is still up and running, you got rigged silver. So that's interesting. And also interesting, Tulsi Gabbard abandons the Democratic Party. Ladies and gentlemen, look at your next vice president, I believe. She's setting herself up for vice president, maybe with DeSantis, maybe with Trump. Truthfully, for me, I don't even think we're going to get past this next election. Yes, the midterms election, I don't think the Democrats would never, ever, ever say, yeah, it was a fair election. The Republicans would never, ever, ever say the Democrats won. So I think this is the end of at least our government functioning semi-normally. So I don't know if we will have a presidential vote coming up. Do we really need one? I don't know. A lot of people saying that we want Trump back in. I'm like, he didn't fix the system, and they had 4 years. We want the Republicans back in. They didn't put anybody in jail. They had 4 years to do it. So if they didn't do it, what makes us think they're going to do it this time? Now, Trump did a lot behind the scenes. I grant you that. But what he did do better than anybody is rig the markets. And that's what I'm most angry about with Trump, is that he did not allow free markets to reign. And you could say, yeah, but he had to take it down to the deep state and he couldn't because blah, blah, blah. Okay. But, we're still having to live through this bullshit. And people are dying because of it. So, yeah, I think free markets should take effect. I think get government out of money. And I think Trump had that plan, but he wanted to take out the deep state first. It's probably the smarter thing to do. But at the end of the day, it didn't fix our country. Our country's not fixed. Which makes me doubt whether or not he would fix the country this time if he got a second chance. DeSantis, who knows? I don't think either of them, nobody's willing to press that red button. And that's why they built up the derivative market so big. So that when it does crash, nothing survives and there's no decision to be made. Anyway, that's where we are. Make sure you go to roadtoroot.com, fill in the get free public road updates. I mail out something almost every day, email. And that's for free, or join the private road and get this Jenny Moonscone discussion. I mean, there's a ton of them on here about silver. And we're going to go down the silver path today. All right. Bix Weir, I'll talk to you later.